For public comment. I assume we're going to have some public comment this morning. So, sir,
Good morning.
introduce everyone that wants to speak. He needs to introduce himself for the record and the municipality from which they come.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Michael Schroeder, and I live in South Danville Township. I submitted to the Commissioners a couple days ago a draft resolution for your consideration. In essence, where you strongly discourage these 287G agreements between county agencies and ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The basic impulse behind this, and I sent this morning a documentary annex to that, an appendix, that 16 pages that uses a whole variety of sources from the ACLU, from the United Nations, from the Cato Institute, from Immigration Council, from local media reports around the country, documenting the thousands, literally thousands of abuses that ICE has committed across the nation over the past year. So the basic impulse behind this is that, in my view, and in the view of many of the folks who are in this room, ICE has proven itself to be a rogue federal agency that is running roughshod over the law and the Constitution. We saw that repeatedly in Minneapolis. We saw it in Los Angeles. We saw it in Chicago. We saw it in Memphis. And this is a really deep concern among many people here in Lebanon County who view, again, ICE as a rogue federal agency, and these 287G agreements in particular, as they really have a very strong potential to undermine the trust between local law enforcement and the larger community that local law enforcement is intended to serve. I had the opportunity to speak with Sheriff Jeff Marley last Monday about the Sheriff's Office signing on to this 287G agreement. And Sheriff Marley assured me, and assured Laura Quick and I, that there would be basically no change in their procedures, that they would keep doing the same things they've been doing before. So then we sort of followed up and said, well, why, then why sign the agreement? And as it turns out, there are substantial financial incentives, monetary incentives for awards, for training, and so on. So I understand, and I believe Sheriff Marley. I believe he has the best of intentions. But these 287G agreements create a structural incentive for local law enforcement to engage in activities that would undermine faith and trust that they've built up with the larger community. As you know, the city of Lebanon is about half Latino, right? And about 80 to 90% of those folks are Puerto Rican, U.S. citizens by birth. But I also know from talking to folks that there is tremendous fear and anxiety within the larger community because they're people of color who might have an accent. And there's really fear and concern of being harassed and being detained unlawfully. I have a friend in Annville who's Puerto Rican, a brown-skinned woman, who is afraid to leave her house without her passport because of what she's been reading around, what's happening around the rest of the country. So the resolution, it's still up in the air legally, I think, about, we're not lawyers. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not exactly sure what all the legal ramifications are. But this doesn't, this doesn't ask you to prohibit these agreements. I'm not sure, do you have that legal authority? I think that's still up in the air. But it does say that you strongly discourage, which you have a right to do, have every right to do. You pass resolutions all the time. If this is what we feel, this is what we think. So that's what I'm asking, is that you pass this resolution that strongly discourages county offices, agencies, and officials from assisting ICE in the enforcement of civil immigration law. This is not about criminal law. This is about civil law. But the great majority of folks who are being detained have done so under civil authority. It's like a violation of like a parking lot ticket or a speeding ticket. It's not a criminal offense. So again, I respectfully ask you to consider and adopt this draft resolution. And I have hard copies of the resolution itself, man.
Jamie gave us one.
And then I have hard copies of the documentary annex. And the digital version, all the links are live, so you can click on all the links to follow. There are dozens and dozens of links that document in pretty meticulous detail all the violations of the law and the Constitution that ICE has engaged in over the past year. And that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Sir?
Good morning. We come this morning in
Tom,
good
excuse
faith.
me, would you
Excuse me,
introduce
Tom
yourself?
Maiello, Myerstown, Pennsylvania. Thank you. We come this morning in good faith, and we thank you for hearing us. We come truly desiring the best for our communities, our county, and our country. You probably know or have heard of us as the Monday protesters. While not perfect in all our ways, our hearts guide our minds and our desire for a better future for all of us. We are not extremists or paid protesters, but we are your neighbors who live and work in this county. We strive and are committed to nonviolent protests, to focus on the truth and to take care of each other. We are aware that we stand on broad shoulders, such as Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi in that regard. We do urge the Board of Commissioners to discourage county agencies and offices from entering into agreements with U.S. ICE enforcement that would commit county time, funds, resources, and efforts towards non-criminal administrative enforcement activities. While other states and municipalities have entered into these agreements, we believe they're wrong. We believe these collaborations undermine public safety, erode community trust, violate constitutional rights, and have a strong possibility of creating significant liability for Lebanon County. Additionally, such agreements are likely to cause immigrants to be reluctant to report crimes, to function as witnesses, or to seek help making neighborhoods feel less safe. As I understand it, ICE detainers are civil requests, not criminal warrants. Therefore, honoring them without a judicial warrant can violate Fourth Amendment protections against unlawful searches and seizures, thereby exposing local agencies to legal liabilities and potentially costly lawsuits. Then there's culpability on behalf of acting for a federal agency that could violate state or local laws. Our group is committed to exercising our Aside from all this, there's the reality that ICE operates using unmarked vehicles, masked officers, and using whatever method they choose, including breaking windows and knocking down doors to apprehend people without any information provided to the accused, without respect for constitutional protections or due process. They seem to operate with little or no respect for these rights, believing everyone they're seeking is guilty, often based on color of their skin or accent. Do we want our county to be involved in such activities? Do we want to assume legal culpability for these apprehensions? Our group is committed to exercising our constitutional rights to peaceably protest, honoring truth and caring for one another. While our group is not Christian by design, many in our group are members of area faith communities. As a member of the ordained clergy myself, one scripture that I try to live by and I think is relevant here is found in Matthew, and I'm paraphrasing. Come to me, you who are blessed by my Father, to inherit the kingdom prepared for you. For when I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was a stranger, you welcomed me. When I was imprisoned, you visited me. Then they responded, when do we do these things to you, Lord? And he said, truly I tell you, just as you did it to the least of these, you did it unto me. Thank you for hearing us.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Tom Oberholt. I'm from Cornwall, and my bias is I was raised to respect the people who do the work. And so my question for the commissioners or your support staff, the reason for ICE sweeps, raiding workplaces, surveilling schools, traffic stops, roadblocks, is because we need to get dangerous criminals off the street, and because it's ICE, deport them. So my question is, how many felons or accused felons or outstanding warrants, how much of that is floating around in Lebanon County? How much of a risk am I at?
I don't know that we have an answer to that question.
Before we start inviting ICE in to patrol our streets, don't we think we should at least have an estimate of what's going on? And how were those situations handled before ICE decided to have 287s and train our police officers to go look for undocumented immigrants in our county? And my concern is undocumented, that's a much longer discussion about what's going on, but my concern for the working people is that people who look like they are undocumented are doing work in this county and should be respected. And so before we launch into a whole group of sweeps and surveillance, I think we should know what the scope of the risk is. How many dangerous criminals are out there, and why can't our police departments now handle that? Together with federal agencies, DEA, the Immigration Service itself has 2 other agencies from which they pulled agents, which another discussion that we'll get into, that are involved in drug interdiction and sexual trafficking, the kinds of concerns that we might have here. How did we get that information in the past, and can't we handle that on our own? My concern is you start taking money from people, they're going to make you do stuff because it's their money. So if you don't have those answers, I'll give you my address. I would appreciate a written response as to what the scope of the problem is in Lebanon County.
Thank you.
Anything? Anybody know?
I want to clarify, my response is say, we don't have that answer, but I suspect that our law enforcement people have a better idea, or that's the purpose of their
Can you
work.
inquire over
At
the
this
people?
point, I'm saying, I don't have
But
a.
can you query the people for which they are responsive to, for which you are responsible to,
Look into that.
and at the county level, and ask and say, what's the scope of the problem, what's happening
You
here?
could forward when you get us your information, we'll be glad to.
Sure.
Sorry.
Good morning.
Please
My name is
introduce,
Luke.
please introduce yourself for the record.
I'm getting there. I just want to look around the room and look at these beautiful faces of my fellow patriots. This is the real deal right here. My name is Lou Felli. I am from what I like to say, from the metropolis of Minerstown. I'm also a lifelong resident of Lebanon County. I am also a retired county employee, having worked on the basement, or the dungeon that we used to call it, the district attorney's office and the sheriff's office. And I'm disappointed I don't see our sheriff, Jeff Marley, here. I understand he had another engagement scheduled. Because what I have to say is directed at him, but I will direct it to everybody in this room. And just to reiterate what my good friend Michael here had said earlier about him having friends of brown people of color, I too have a lot of friends that are brown in color. And it's one of the main reasons why I am here today. But my other concern is that our local sheriff and our local police departments are missing an opportunity at long-term improvement with community relations at almost no cost by not distancing themselves from ICE. I would hope that some of these law enforcement officers out there would see that the rule of law and due process and equal treatment under the law and transparency and accountability might be important to them. Have we not been watching the news? I don't care what news station or news media you watch, you can't help but see how unprofessional, how unethical, and how irresponsible ICE has been performing their tasks on the streets of our American cities. The latest poll that I saw from PBS News and Marist, 60% disapprove of the job ICE is doing. I ask everybody in this room, What is the first duty of government? Does anybody know?
Serve the people.
It is protecting the people. The core responsibility of any government, especially one rooted in democratic principles like the United States, is to protect its citizens. Last month, a former ICE instructor testified to the Oversight Subcommittee. I believe it was February 13th. This former ICE instructor's name is Ryan Schwank. He resigned his position as an ICE instructor so he could testify to Congress. And he spoke about how new ICE agents that are being trained are instructed to violate the Fourth Amendment of our U.S. Constitution, which is to protect, which is against unreasonable search and seizure. He also added that the normally 2-hour lesson on the Fourth Amendment was reduced to about 10 minutes. I ask everybody in this room, is that who we want to train our deputies? To deputize our deputies? Is that who we want? And I'll add also, within 2 weeks' time in Minneapolis, ICE agents had shot an unarmed mother in the face and shot a male nurse in the back. Is that who we want to deputize our deputies? The latest news that I saw on TV, Gregory Pavino, the ICE commander that was in charge of the immigration enforcement in Minneapolis, is now under criminal investigation from the Minneapolis authorities and from the state attorney general. Two 11 county commissioners. I ask you this. When this goes downhill, which I believe it will, fast, is the county obligated to reimburse the locality of any liability of the federal agents and our sheriff's deputies? Something will go wrong, I guarantee it. I worked in the sheriff's office. I know a lot of these law enforcement officers. Mistakes are made. I've seen a lot of mistakes made. I made mistakes. And ICE definitely makes mistakes. With that said, I would love to hear your comments, because I want it on record. Because when it does go downhill, I'm going to make sure that somebody's going to be held responsible. I will let you know also, I carry this whistle. And I will blow this when I see ICE is around, to alert my fellow citizens to be on guard and to stay safe. Like I said in the beginning, the first duty of government is protecting the people. And I thank you for this time.
Thank you, sir. Additional comments?
Hi, my name's Arn Moehlman. I would respectfully request our county government, as I would the state, to wholeheartedly work in tandem with ICE Homeland Security, and the Border Patrol to support them in their mission to deport those people who are here illegally. Because they're doing it to protect the general public, the citizenry, word that was used. To uphold the law, which is also a first duty of government. Uphold the law, defend the citizenry. People who are here illegally are disenfranchising the American voter, in many cases getting to vote. They're disenfranchising the American taxpayer, as we've seen in Minnesota, at government will, looking the other way while money was being defrauded to the tune of likely $19 billion plus for groups to defraud taxpayers by setting up front businesses that didn't exist really in service for the purpose of raw political power, disenfranchising the American voter, the American worker, by keeping wages depressed. That's what illegal immigration impact is on the status of labor in America. And I would submit that ICE, Homeland Security, and the Border Patrol are protecting the people, protecting the citizenry from the negative impacts, and they are plethora of mass illegal immigration. And it is for the good of the people. They are protecting the people, the citizenry. And we don't want to see our citizenry disenfranchised as voters, as workers, and as citizens. And that's what ICE is doing. And I've heard comments to the effect that they're masked and operating unlawfully. No, they're operating quite lawfully. They're masked because they're being doxxed by people who mean them harm. They're wearing gear because things are being thrown at them like rocks, frozen ice bottles, brutal ways of attacking them, and simply trying to uphold the law. So I again respectfully request that this good county, along with the state, would work in tandem with ICE, Homeland Security, and the Border Patrol to uphold the immigration laws and deport those people who shouldn't be here. And if anything, if people want to educate the citizenry better, that it's not about skin color. We've had mass quantities of illegals coming in from all sorts of countries, whether it's Russia, tends to be more white skin, whether it's South America, tan, whether it's Africa, black, it doesn't matter. It's regardless of ethnicity. It's not a racial issue. If you're here illegally, you need to be deported because you are hurting the citizenry of the nation. Please work with ICE, Homeland Security, and Border Patrol. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any additional comment, sir?
Gary Gates from Palmyra. Interesting comments. Disenfranchise the American voter. I mean, are you joking?
No, I'm not.
Well,
Hold, time out,
hang
time out.
on.
Time out.
Hang
Have the
on.
floor, but this is not a debate.
Okay.
You have time for make a comment.
I think that's a specious comment because Trump got elected and Republicans got elected by an overwhelming majority in Congress. Was that rigged? And if you do coordinate with ICE, I would like a list of exactly why you are coordinating with them. Who is here exactly that you're targeting with ICE? When I was a college kid, I went out to Fredericksburg to get a job because I had to work my way through college. Oh, I got a job right away in the chicken processing plant. Chickens come down, I had to cut the head off with a knife. Well, I got sick to my stomach and quit. Now, immigrants are doing jobs like that. You say they're taking our jobs, that's nonsense. They're doing jobs that we don't want to do. And I would say to anyone who disagrees with that, get a job out in Fredericksburg chopping heads off chickens, see how you like it. Get a job working in the fields, picking tomatoes in the hot sun, see how you like it. They're doing jobs we, on the whole, don't want to do, so God bless them, and I'm glad you're here, that they're doing work for us, not against us. And ultimately, if you're going to go with ICE, I think you need to justify it line by line exactly who are they targeting and why and how are they going to do it. Wearing masks, dressing up like SWAT teams against women and children and school children. Is this a joke? I mean, that's horrific. Our law enforcement officers in this county are wonderful people. They have a badge. They don't have masks on. They give their names. They help us. It's a totally different thing. and you invite ICE in with a totally different mindset and approach to things, that's gonna pull everything down. We are not a country that oppresses the poor and the weak. We are a country that helps our fellow man, especially when they're working for us. Now, we all want criminals out of here, but be very careful when your list. Justify why you're doing this, how you're gonna do it, openly, honestly, and legally. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
John Rose, Schroeder Township. I have been in this room many times when you were for the prison board meetings. And I have watched over the years as the reports on the jail have improved. And we have a jail here in Lebanon County that is really outstanding in that it is fully staffed, it is well managed, and the warden has commented in private conversation about that. One of the key things that she has done to achieve that is to make sure to get rid of the knuckleheads. And I'm not sure that was the term she used, but something like that. When I watched what was going on in Minneapolis, it looked like a bunch of knuckleheads. Is that what you want here in Lebanon County? Please do not allow that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Tricamo.
Pam Tricamo, Lebanon City. I just have a quick question as far as procedure. I don't believe you mentioned where you were from, so are you a citizen in Lebanon County?
Yes,
Okay.
Arn Moehlman, lifelong citizen in Lebanon County, county employee for roughly 23 years.
Okay, I just don't think it was mentioned when you originally introduced yourself. I just wanted to ask.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Anyone else? Ma'am?
My name is Virginia Noll, Lebanon County. I'm a poll worker, okay? I sit at the poll book, and when people come in, they have the option, yes, a lot of them will hand me their identification card. And if they don't, we get their name, we make sure we have the right person and allow them to vote. If their name isn't on there, they're not voting, okay? So there's no voter fraud that I know of going on in Lebanon County. You can ask Sean if he has any recollection or any documentation that there has been voter fraud in Lebanon County. So voters in Lebanon County are not being disenfranchised. That's all I have to say.
Anyone else? Okay, we thank you all for your comments. We'll move on to our regular agenda items. That would be seeking approval of the minutes from the meeting of February 19th and the executive session on March 3rd, which are included in your packets.
Make them second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments regarding those minutes? Not? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those minutes are approved. Ms. Tobias, would you step up to the table and introduce yourself for the record, and we may proceed.
Tobias, acting treasurer. We started with a cash balance of $640,338.24. We had receipts of $1,891,454.16. Brought our total cash to $2,531,792.40. Less our expenditures of $1,586,330.05. And less tax claim of $127,415.44, which brought our cash balance this morning to $818,046.91, and that is tomorrow's payroll.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report, subject to audit.
sure it will be audited, but I will second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Thank you. Anything
Thank
else?
you. Nope.
Thank you.
Let me just see what they're gonna do that.
Oh, sure.
I apologize, I meant to offer this. Some people had said they were gonna submit things. If somebody wants to direct them to me, I will make sure they get to the DA and the sheriff. They're the folks at the front line of this whole issue, and so I make sure that anything that is signed and given to me, I will make sure it gets to them, including your packet.
You just leave it at the, outside the desk before you leave. Up there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I had a chance, since we did have this to read ahead of time. I see nothing wrong with me making a motion to approve the, I don't know if you want to call it a proclamation, but a resolution.
Commissioner, if you wish to place something on the agenda for action, you should make a motion to add something to the agenda first.
Okay, well, because it was being discussed, I thought it was on the agenda.
No, it was
But
public-
if you want to
public comment.
second a motion, I will make a motion to put the resolution that was presented to us on the agenda for a vote.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions or comments?
Do you want the motion first or the comments first?
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, we did not take action. That's a motion to add a resolution for consideration on the agenda. So we'll, any comments about that, or all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign. That's on the agenda now. So you may make a motion.
Okay. I make a motion to pass this resolution concerning how we operate in Lebanon County. Basically, that was presented to us by our citizens. And I think that it was very thoughtfully done. It's not demanding, it's just giving people the confidence that we're looking at everything. And so I make a motion to pass this resolution.
Is there a second? I don't hear a second for that motion, so we will take that motion under advisement, and we might consider that at a future meeting.
Again, I'll direct this to the proper folks that are on the front line of this and make sure they're aware of the sentiments of the people that have created it.
I think there's a little more, that's a very good question, back to Dr. Oberholt's question about, I don't know the scope of it, I did not ask, but agreements have already been made, put in place, so we can ask those questions. So,
Well, I guess I'd like to make a statement then.
have the floor.
All right. First of all, the incentives were mentioned. There's a $100,000 incentive, which is not going to cover our expenses. First of all, we had to pay to hire and train deputies. We had to purchase vehicles. We had to go through purchasing uniforms for them, etc. So all of these expenses are not being covered by the grant that is being offered. And I take objection to that. If you're going to pay for it, pay for it. If you're not, then do your job, and we'll support you as we can. But I don't think it's right to make as if they're covering all our expenses. They are not. And as for the unmarked cars, I have personally witnessed that on at least 2 occasions. And so I do know that that is truth. The illegal voting, respectfully, Arn, I do not see illegal voting. If indeed somebody shows up at the polls and there's any question, we have our local people there who we train and trust to bring that to our attention. We are here all day and answering questions concerning voting, and to accuse us of not doing our job, and that hits pretty hard to me.
I don't think that's what the intention at all was of the field.
Not at all. Not at all, Commissioner.
Okay.
My statement is about the national status where we know it's happening.
Okay.
And it's
But-
only as good as government enforcing it. If government doesn't enforce voter integrity, it will fall apart. And
But
it is.
here where we are in Lebanon County, we do enforce it
Good.
properly.
Good.
And it sounded like you were attacking the election
Oh, yeah, I'm
board.
glad if we're enforcing it.
But I wanted to make sure that everyone has confidence in our elections. I do not want our elections challenged on falsehoods. And also, as for the chickens, Lou, my grandfathers both had farms, and it was was that you, Gary, that said about the chickens? I'm sorry, I thought it was Lou. Gary, I'm directing.
I have a summer job, and personally, I'm thankful my wings are here to do jobs I don't want to do.
I just
And
want.
if anyone objects, let them go do it and see how they like it. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you for your permission. I really just wanted to say that both my grandfathers were farmers. Sunday morning, Mom would take us to church, and afterwards we'd go to Grandpa's house. And we always had chores. One time it was picking strawberries. Another time I was crawling up on the chicken coop to pick cherries, strawberries, cherries. We had a mulberry tree when they were in bloom and then turned to the fruit. But one of the other duties we had, okay, today is chicken day. And yeah, Grandpa chopped off the heads, and I had to run after those chickens and bring them back and hang them up to drain. So I know all about chickens, and as a child, I didn't think anything of it. I thought that everybody did that. I didn't know. So yeah, I've done that job, and I guess it depends on your background. And I came from a hunting family. I've gotten, trying to think, at least six deer over the years hunting with my father and my brothers and sister. And I guess that could be offensive to some people, but to me it was normal. It's how my dad, with 4 kids in the family, was able to feed us. We had the local chickens and the local deer meat in order to be able to survive. Times were tough, and you know, we went through all that. So I do apologize if that offends anyone, but that is something that we had to do as children, and around in Lebanon County, I suppose some others did too. Those are just some of the thoughts I was encountering as you went on, and I wanted, if nothing else, I really wanted to make sure that everyone has confidence in our elections here in Lebanon County. Our poll workers do a stellar job, and I want to thank them and raise them up and not have any shadow cast on them whatsoever. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Commissioner.
No, I don't want to further the conversation about the disenfranchised voter. That was, I think, misinterpreted.
Yes, I know, we all agree that the people locally do a great job. We'll move on. Michelle, she's next. Good morning, Michelle. Would you please introduce yourself for the record and proceed with your report?
Michelle Snavely, Director of Human Resources. Personnel transactions, resignations, and terminations. Robin Rollins, full-time aging case 82, Area Agency on Aging, resignation effective March 6th. Ahmed El-Gamal, part-time mule transporter, Area Agency on Aging, rescind acceptance of employment effective March 2nd. Teresa Figueroa, child abuse investigator, children and youth, resignation effective February 23rd. Susie Nina Mercado, child abuse investigator, children and youth, termination effective February 25th. Hannah Colgrove, caseworker 2, children and youth, resignation effective March 16th. Ravati Minoshi Milani, law librarian / protective abuse clerk and interpreter. Courts, resignation effective March 3rd. Morgan Deidre, caseworker 2 at MHIDEI, resignation effective March 6th. Colin Jadandowitz, probation officer 1, probation services, resignation effective February 23rd.
I move to approve those transactions.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions, comments? None, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those same sign. So approved.
Under leaves of absence, Mary Wright from courts, 5-day all-unpaid leave of absence effective March 9th, returning March 16th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions, comments? None. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. That is approved.
Under changes of status, transfers, and promotions, I have a motion to approve the 2026 Civil Service Compensation Plan, which pertains to Area Agency on Aging, Children and Youth Services, the Commission on Drug and Alcohol Abuse, and NHIDEI funding for the 2026-2027 fiscal year.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 Civil Service Compensation Plan.
It's 26. It's this. Great.
Yeah.
Second.
Second that. Motion is second. Approve the 2026 Civil Service Compensation Plan. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. That is approved.
Jamie Montalvo, promotion from Aging Care Manager Supervisor 2 at Area Agency on Aging to Aging Care Manager 2 / Protected Service Investigator at Area Agency on Aging at the rate of $1,912.13 biweekly effective March 1st.
Also moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions, comments? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. We have that approved.
Under other transactions, Children and Youth would like to hire Rafiq Bush as a caseworker 1 at the rate of $1,629.56 biweekly effective March 9th. Children and Youth would like to hire Andrew Cody as a caseworker 1 at the rate of $1,629.56 biweekly, and that date should be March 16th. Coroner's Office would like to hire Nicole Rivera as a casual coroner logistics technician at the rate of $14.24 per hour effective March 9th. Lebanon County Correctional Facility would like to hire Jaslyn Boyer as an office support 1 at the rate of $15.31 per hour effective March 16th. District Attorney would like to hire Christine Malinsky as a Secretary D at the rate of $1,220.35 biweekly effective March 16th. President Judge Towalk would like to hire Ashley Lehman as an office support 2 in domestic relations at the rate of $16.46 per hour effective March 9th. President Judge Towalk would like to hire Andrew McVeigh as an adult probation officer 1 in probation services at the rate of $1,897.29 biweekly effective March 9th. The Prothonotary Office would like to hire Eric Shields as a part-time court clerk at the rate of $16.50 per hour effective March 9th.
I'll make a motion to approve those new hires and rehires as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions, comments? None. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. You have a question?
Yeah, Lieutenant previously reported that there were no new hires for new positions. Is that, with all the hiring that's going on and mention of new hires, these are just still filling current positions, and you haven't lifted the hiring ban until you implement the results of the salary study, which is my understanding, that you prohibited the DA's office from hiring a new person last year for this current year. Are you still just filling open positions at this point, or have new positions been reopened and just wasn't publicly announced?
No, we've
I
created
think, no, that there haven't been any new positions created. I think there's maybe confusion in terminology. New hires, meaning new employees to our employee.
Filling existing jobs.
Existing positions,
But
right.
no new positions created is still
Correct.
in effect.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, they can consider new positions at any time, but there haven't been any new positions created.
Okay, just wanted to double
Yeah.
check. Thank you.
Moving on to Salary Board, motion to approve all transactions previously read plus the following. Anna Marquez Rodriguez, interpreter stipend. She is a caseworker manager 1 in Children and Youth, an annual stipend of $1,500 prorated from the effective date, effective March 1st. Cassandra Giuliani, salary increase, full-time telecommunicator in the Department of Emergency Services, moved to telecommunicator 3 at the rate of $23.37 per hour, effective March 1st.
Make a motion to approve the interpreter and telecommunicator positions as presented. Our hires.
Salary.
Yes, that's full salary.
Full commissioner.
Yes.
Amend that.
Salary board, yeah, positions.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. For that approval. Anything else, Michelle? Thank you.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. No, we'll go to Red Cross. Not yet.
Derek, please come up to the table. Would you please introduce yourselves for the record, and you may proceed.
Absolutely. I'm Derek Oldris, board member of the Red Cross Central Pennsylvania chapter.
Good morning, Commissioners, and it's a privilege and honor to be here. I'm Dianne McNaughton from Dauphin County, and I am a volunteer on the Media and Government Relations Committee for the American Red Cross.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So, just a couple things. Thank you for the proclamation of Red Cross Month here in the month of March. Here in Lebanon County, you know, the Red Cross mission is primarily driven and powered by volunteers. So here in Lebanon County, we do have 37 volunteers carrying out that mission. That mission consists of disaster response, community preparedness. Just since last July alone, the Red Cross has responded to 14 disasters, primarily being home fires, helping 44 individuals and their families in time of need. Through community partnerships, the county has hosted 21 blood drives, gathering 498 units of blood at a time when the blood shortage is absolutely critical. And finally, in our preparedness program through the home fire program, we have installed 121 smoke alarms here in Lebanon County. So March is an excellent month to recognize the volunteers, the community partners, and staff for the Red Cross mission, people helping people, neighbors helping neighbors. So I am truly, truly grateful to be here representing not only the Red Cross, not only the volunteers and the staff, but the people that the mission serves. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Jamie, do you want to read that proclamation that was prepared for the record?
American Red Cross Month. In March, we celebrate American Red Cross Month by honoring our neighbors who make its humanitarian mission possible in Lebanon County. Every day, their acts of kindness changes lives, bringing relief, comfort, and hope when help can't wait. The compassionate spirit runs deep in our community, just as it has for 145 years through the American Red Cross. Today, those who serve with the American Red Cross of Central Pennsylvania light the way during emergencies, whether it's delivering shelter, food, and comfort after disasters, providing a safe, life-saving blood supply for patients facing conditions like cancer treatments, childbirth complications, and traumatic injuries, assisting military members, veterans, and their families with 24/7 global support, or empowering individuals with skills like first aid and CPR that save lives. These collective efforts are a powerful reminder that the strength of our community lies in our shared commitment to one another. As we mark Red Cross Month, let's celebrate our local heroes and resolve to continue lifting each other up so no one faces an emergency alone. Now therefore, we, the Lebanon County Commissioners, by virtue of the authority vested in us by the laws of Lebanon County, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Red Cross Month. We encourage all citizens of Lebanon County to reach out and support its humanitarian mission. In witness whereof we have hereunto set our hands this 5th day of March 2026.
Second.
Motion and second. Other questions, comments? Just again, God bless you and thank you for the work that you do and all your volunteers.
And I also want to ask, how's the supply deficit? Is it coming back? Are you getting any better in terms of what you have available?
It feels, referring to the blood shortage, it feels like it's a constant uphill battle, but we are, trying to be more creative in getting new donors out. I think existing donors has always been kind of a steady supply. It's getting those new donors out. So, again, maybe an ask is the opportunity to volunteer and request new folks to donate blood is really, truly a life-saving effort. So,
excellent.
We have this proclamation to present it. I understand you want to get a photo or?
That would be wonderful, thank you.
Okay, we can take a minute to do that.
Do we vote?
Oh, sorry, thank you. motion second? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Now it's official.
All right, here's a couple. You're welcome. Pleasure. Sorry. Actually, Harris, pretty much.
Pretty consistent.
You're welcome. It's good to see you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, folks. That brings us to Aaron Moyer. Aaron, please have a seat, introduce yourself for the record, and you may proceed.
I'm Aaron Moyer. I'm the administrator for Children and Youth. Here today to present second quarter invoices for fiscal year 25-26 in the total amount of $6,076,817.04. I would ask that you approve our second quarter invoices.
I'll make a motion to approve the second quarter invoices as presented for Children and Youth.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Same sign. You have that approval.
That's all I have today. Thank you.
Sweet, okay, thanks. Michelle, good morning. Please have a seat. Introduce yourself for the record and you may proceed.
Hi, my name is Janelle Gector. I'm the facility director at the Renova Center. I have 3 contracts that I would like to be considered. I'm not sure what order. The first one I have on my pile is John Wickesser. Dawn Hoffman was our facility psychologist and she retired. So John has been involved with a few of our residents and he's willing to accept the position. So the contract is almost exactly the same as what Dawn had, the same rates, but it's a required position for our residents. So I'm asking for him to be considered for this position for us.
I'll move it if the solicitor has.
I reviewed it, yeah.
So,
Second.
Motion, second. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. I have approval.
Thank you. The next one is for our medical director. She has not had a salary increment in 2 years, so I'm asking for a 3% increment for her.
Make a motion to approve the 3% increment for the director.
A little explanation, a little more detail on that. It's 3% because she hasn't had, go into a little more detail about why you're asking for that.
Oh, I mean, she continues to go above and beyond for our residents and help us out. And we have to use her numerous times, after hours, 24/7 for, demands for the residents. So I'm just asking for her to be considered for a little more money.
And when was the last increase?
It was 2 years ago. Two.
Thank you.
Second. Motion is second. Any other questions or comments? None, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. You have that approval.
And then the third and final one is we are still struggling with meeting our ratios for our staffing. So we are looking for additional staffing options, and a different company approached us to offer agency staffing to cover LPN and direct care needs that we are still looking for. The agency is called ProSource, and the contract, this is the contract they've asked for. The rates are very similar to the other agencies that we are using. Actually, some parts are a little bit cheaper, which is helpful to us. But we would be looking for the PRN rate in the contract, which brings it down a little bit more than what the contracted rates are. Because I told them we can't guarantee hours, it's just based off of our needs that we have at the time.
And has Matt reviewed this contract as well?
Yeah.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Questions, comments?
How many total agencies can you draw from now?
With this one, this would be our fourth one that we could use then. So I'm hoping that will help out.
Is it the most you've ever had to work with?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Not all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, you have that approval. No, thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle.
Warden's next. Warden, if you will introduce yourself for the record and you may proceed. Were your ears ringing earlier?
Yes,
She was here.
Singing your praises.
Yes.
Good job.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tina Litz, Warden at the Lebanon County Correctional Facility. I have 3 items on the agenda this morning, fairly simple. The first is the canteen contract. It's something that has been ongoing at the county correctional facility. I just needed to get an updated contract signed. It was viewed by the solicitor. There was no issues. These funds go into the general fund. It's self-explanatory. The county gets 15% for snacks, 15% commissions on beverages. So no changes with the actual services, just presenting an updated contract to be moved with.
Make a motion to approve the services agreement as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second. Questions, comments? None, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Have approval.
Thank you. Second on the agenda is the inmate commissary contract. As reported in the prison board meeting in February, our contract for our current commissary provider is ending April 1st. We've had some communication issues, some efficiency issues, so we started to view other commissary vendor options. What I presented to the prison board and I'm bringing to the commissioners this day is a proposal from Oasis. It does give us a 44% commission on commissary. The previous vendor was not that. Again, I'm looking at Oasis. They're in several local correctional facilities. They're efficient. They have a phenomenal lockdown controlling accounting system that we'd like to get to eventually. So I'm asking that we sign the Oasis contract. In full transparency, I forwarded over a contract from the current vendor that was just presented to me this Monday. So I did not really have an opportunity to present that to the prison board or make packets for the commissioners this morning. That contract does present a 0.5% increase. My recommendation is that we still go with Oasis based off of the service performance issues I was having with the current contract. So I'm asking to move forward with the Oasis commissary contract.
I'll move it.
Second?
Motion is second. Other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Have that approval.
Thank you. Third on the agenda is the amendment to inmate telephone service agreement. I want to get these numbers right because I stuttered a little bit at prison board. So I'm presenting an amended ViaPath phone tablet contract that includes the changes in commission to be in compliance with the Federal Communications Commission's statutory goals as related to the Martha Wright Read Act. Changes in commissions would go from 0.08 cents to 0.02 cents on all calls and video visits. The company will still receive, or the county will still receive a percentage commission on the non-regulated side of the tablets. So basically the contract before you is just amending those numbers so we can be in compliance and the vendor can be in compliance.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Have that approval.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Morgan.
three items to present. First being disabled veteran exemption requests for real estate tax for those qualifying for the program. There are 7 here, I believe. Stephen Hill of South 9th Street, Lebanon. Sakan Fallon of West Orchard Drive, Palmyra. Brian Easley of Ridge Road, Anvil. David Harper of Alden Way, Lebanon. Benjamin Holmes of Royal Road, Palmyra. Gordon Brewer of Clays Crossing, Lebanon. And Hippolito Garcia Polino of 10th Street, Lebanon.
Make a motion to approve the seven veterans for exemption of real estate tax as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Are questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Approval.
Next, I have a change order request for relating to the renovations, Phase 1A renovations that are going on in the assessment and public defender's offices. This change order is to comply with fire code regulations, and that being to add fire dampers, fire dampers, ceiling radiation, fire dampers, ceramic blankets to the ductwork, and fire-rated grills, registers, and diffusers throughout the office area. Total change order for that is $7,145.59.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions, comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Approval.
Last item I have, reflecting back to your last meeting when you took action to increase the Governor Dick Board of Directors for Fire Shock Memorial Park to 7 members from 6. The board has forwarded and recommends an appointment to the board of Stephen Toller to fill that 7th position. That term would expire June 30th of 2026, just this year, at which time it'll be considered for reappointment.
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Toller's request to be on the board, or appointment to be on the board.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Approval. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Anything else for the good of the order? I'd like to thank everyone before we close, thank everyone for coming. We certainly heard the concerns and know that we'll always have a public forum here available for that. We'll take all that under advisement, and I think there's one common thread of, I think all of us can share in this room, is that we want to follow the law, follow the Constitution. So that's what we're all here about. So anything else? We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And adjourn.
In 2 weeks.